Hey guys, welcome to the next video guys. Alright, so since we took a detour back in our next video, I hope I can make it up to you guys in this video. Alright, so let's learn how to play scales. Now how to play scales. Before we learn how to play scale, we have to learn a scale first. Right guys, so the scale that we're going to learn first and today is the C major scale. So let's talk about the C major scale. Alright, so the C major scale consists of 7 different notes. These notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Right guys? And so these are the notes or the family members of C, of the C note. Now, if you don't know where C is on your piano, it's pretty simple. So if you observe your piano, you will see that there are sections of 2 black notes, another section of 3 black notes, and then that just repeats all across the keyboard. So that's a section of 2 black notes, section of 3 black notes, another section of 2 black notes again, then another section of 3 black notes again. Now listen, to find the note C, right, we're going to be looking at the section where there are 2 black notes in that section only. So the first white note that comes before those 2 black notes is C, is the C note. Now I want for you guys to sit directly in front of your keyboard, right? Making sure that you are in the center, right, of your keyboard. Now I want for you to find the C that is in the center of your keyboard, the C that should be right in front of you. Alright, and so how to find that C? Remember we were just talking about it a while ago. The section where there are 2 black notes, the first white note that comes before that section, not the first white note that comes before the section where there are 3 black notes, the section where there are 2 black notes, the first white note that comes before those 2 black notes is the C note, right? And so the scale consists of 7 notes, as I was telling you before, and these notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Now, the reason why we stopped at G and started all the way from A is because in music, these are the letters of the alphabet in music. There's no H and no other letters, right? So the letters are from A to G, and then this just repeats, right? Now let's learn how to play the scale. There's a specific technique used to play the scale. So with your right hand, what I want for you to do, I want you to number your fingers, cool? So, with your right hand, we're going to call the thumb number 1, the index finger number 2, the middle finger number 3, your married finger number 4, and your pinky number 5. Cool? There's a formula for this technique to make it easier. The formula for this technique with your left hand will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, guys? So that will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that formula is basically telling you where to put your fingers next because you have just numbered your fingers. This means that your fingers are now classified as numbers. Now you have to follow this formula. Now for the first 3 notes in the C major scale, we're going to be using the first 3 fingers on our right hand, right? So that is C, D, E. Now, once you have completed this and we have reached at E, the next note to go after this is the F note, right guys? The F note. And so how to reach the F note? We're going to have to flip our thumb underneath that 3rd finger that is on E, right, to reach at F. Now, when we make that flip, we're going to continue and finish the scale with the rest of fingers without any more flips, right guys? So let us go over that again. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be counting the notes, right? So the first 3 notes of the major scale are going to be played with the first 3 fingers on our right hand. And now the 4th note of the major scale is going to be played with the thumb, which is the first finger on our right hand, right? So there's going to be a flip right there. So it's 1, 2, 3, flip to F, then 4, 5, 6, 7. The C major scale with our left hand also have a technique. Cool? So we're going to be numbering our left hand as well. numbering our pinky as the first finger on our left hand. So our pinky would be number 1, our married finger would be number 2, our middle finger would be number 3, our index finger would be number 4, and our thumb would be number 5, and that is with our left hand. Now there is also a formula for this on the left hand. The formula is a bit similar to the first formula used for the right hand, but the difference between the formulas is that they're opposite to one another. After we have completed playing the 5 notes with the 5 fingers on our left hand, we're going to then flip our middle finger to the 6th note in the major scale, which is the A, right? We're going to flip our middle finger over to that A. So on our left hand, the formula for the left hand is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing the first 5 notes of our C major scale with the 5 fingers on our left hand, right? Now, that is C, D, E, F, G, flip our middle finger over to A, then our index finger on B, then our thumb on C. Now, what I would like for you guys to do for me, you don't have to do it, but I'd recommend it, is to get a notebook and to write the letters of the C major scale in that notebook. And under those letters, you are going to write numbers, right? Now, what do I mean by this? C is the first note that we started off on, and so we're going to be counting. So C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, and B is 7. So now, instead of calling these notes their names, after you are acquainted with the names of the white notes, we can start to refer to them as numbers, right? Now, there's this thing called the scale degree. So if we're playing in the key of C, and we're playing the major scale in the key of C, C will always remain as number 1, while the other notes will be always referred to as the number that we just counted them as. Now, as we mentioned in the previous video, there's something that is called pitch. Now, the 7 notes that is within our major scale. The 8th note would be a repeat of the previous C that we started counting from. Now, if the 8th note is a repeat of the first C that we started to count from, this means that instead of calling that note number 8, we would call that note number 1. That is the reason why I didn't refer to that note as yet, because I didn't want you guys to get confused. Now, every time you count 7 white notes from C, the white note that comes after those 7 notes, right, will be a repeat of your first note, or a repeat of C. Now, that repeat of C is in a higher pitch. We're going to call that repeat an octave. When you talk about octave, we're talking about 2 same notes. One just higher in pitch, or one is just lower in pitch. But they're always 8 notes apart from their one another. Now, if you press any white note on your keyboard, and you count 8 notes from that white note, the 8th note that you're going to land on is supposed to be the same note, but in a higher pitch. Or now that we're talking about octave, instead of saying pitch, we can say a higher octave. So 8 notes apart from that note, ascending up the keyboard, heading into the right direction of the keyboard, would be the higher octave of the previous note. But 8 notes descending from the keyboard, heading in the left direction of the keyboard, would be a lower octave of the previous note. So whenever we're playing our C major scale and we count 7 notes, the white note that comes immediately after the 7th note would be a repeat of the previous C note. Now we can also play our C major scale on any C on the keyboard once there are 8 notes coming after that C note. And for now, I would rather for you guys to play the C major scale ascendingly. Until we are fully acquainted with that, then we can start to do it in a descending order. To complete the technique with our hands, guys, it is encouraged that we play 8 notes at all times. So one note is always going to be repeated. And so that note is the first note and the octave of that first note, which is basically the same note. So instead of playing 7 notes, we're always going to be playing 8 notes. So from C to C. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Right. And so now, guys, we have just learned to play our major scale. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned.